Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror PSA presented by Scary Nerd, and as always, we are your hosts. I'm Paul.
I'm Saul.
And I'm Angie.
The following is a public service announcement.
The Warrens investigate a murder that may be linked to a demonic possession. That's right. We watched The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It
Dun, dun, dun.
2021 release.
Yes. This one was by far the hardest Conjuring for me to get into.
You know, upon the second watching, I liked it more than the first time.
I will agree with you. I watched it right after it debuted on HBO.
Yeah.
On HBO Max. And then I went back to watch it again for the podcast. And I did enjoy it better on a second view.
I don't know, it was less.
Still.
It was less cheesy the second time around.
I wouldn't agree with that. It's very long. It's
long.
It's as long as a courtroom drama is.
It's yet a mix of like courtroom drama / like we're also going to research history a little bit.
Yeah, and see, I think the law side of it is what took me out of like I've always loved the Warrens. When I was a kid, I was like, if this shit is real, oh my god, right? Like when you're a kid, you think all that shit's real, so you can get into the lore of it and be like, yeah, they fight demons and shit. But when you grow up, you're like, oh, they're not real, and then
it's still real.
You gotta try to find the con.
Yes, and then
that's what I was trying to figure out on this one.
Yeah, and then so when they started to get into the realm of law, I was like, no, Warrens, no.
Well,
I found it funny though when they were talking to what is it, the public defender or whoever it was that was defending Arnie, and they're like,
no, this was what, the 70s or early 80s. It was like ancient
81.
It was
Yes.
started off in 81.
Either way,
so,
though,
yeah.
when they try to get the public defender who was defending Arnie or whatever it was, his lawyer, and they're like, well, spend the evening with us and we'll show you what we show you, and then you'll be on our side.
Yeah.
I was hoping they would show them the proof.
Yes, like what they showed.
Okay,
like
yeah,
what they would show
but
them.
if they showed that, then the movie would be even fucking longer. Is that what you guys want?
This
You're
is
literally
true.
complaining
But
how long
still,
the movie
the
was,
movie
and now
would
you're
have
like,
been
I
It
want
was
more.
long, but that was something I did want to see
Well, see,
rather than
and
some of the other bullshit that we saw.
I can agree with you because when I first watched it in that jump, I was like, is this the next day? So they already did it. They're just going to skip over. It seemed like it missed a beat.
Yeah.
Out of step with Conjuring because
You were supposed to get that from her facial expressions.
I get that, but at the same time, that lady, she was like, she says, by demonic possession, please don't take away my license to practice law. Like, she just looks down at the floor and is like, I'm sorry I said it. I'm just going to sit back
Okay,
down.
it's 1981, and she's a lawyer, and she's a woman. She's like, they're going to laugh.
I
They're gonna
know.
laugh
Like,
me out of the fucking bar, so
motherfucker.
Hey, she
I
could have
gotta do
used the
this.
tagline from the movie, The Devil Made Me Do It.
And I wouldn't have done it. I'd be like, nope.
But
Peace
see,
out.
here's the funny thing about it, though, is that the movie's called The Devil Made Me Do It. It wasn't a fucking devil. It was a demon.
wasn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the thing is, Arnie...
And it wasn't even a demon. It was a
No, it
lady
was a
who was
demon.
doing all
It
the
was a
stuff.
demon.
Well,
Yeah,
the
it was a
demon.
demon.
She conjured
yeah,
the demon
she
to go
conjured the demon.
specifically.
Yeah,
It was still
okay.
a demon.
Yeah.
So
She made
that
a
should have
deal.
been the demon made me do it.
Yeah, she made a deal with the demon.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't
we know
specifically the
Arnie
devil.
needed like Saul Goodman type of lawyer to
He
be like
did,
he
yeah.
needed like a quick
wheeling and dealing man
yeah,
for the Lord.
He needed Slippin' Jimmy to be
Yeah.
like, look, all right, if you believe in the God, you can believe in the devil. And the
Yeah.
devil made him do it, you know,
That's
blah blah
what I
blah.
mean.
Like he would have cited fucking Joan of Arc and shit. Like there
Yeah.
would have been all kinds of like religious
See,
stuff.
and that would have been more interesting. I don't know.
So yeah, the Conjuring, Slippin' Jimmy
and see,
edition.
maybe that was my problem with it through the first watch and through the second watch is it didn't like the Conjuring the first one.
It wasn't batshit crazy enough. Is that-
Yes, I'm like, if you want to, like, because I don't think that they're like, this is what all really happened to the Warrens. You know,
See,
I'm not
I think,
saying
yeah,
that
okay,
in any
I think
kind
I
of
get what you're
form.
saying. No, I get what you're
Yeah.
saying because I think when I first watched it, I was like, all right, this one is the most far fetched out of all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's just like you know they're gonna take some leeway and you got to give some credit to be like, all right, it's a Hollywood version of stuff that really happened, but they're gonna amp it up. But I
Yeah.
mean, this one I'm like. It's
Ed
the
at
biggest
one point-
stretch I think out of
Ed
all
at
of
one
them.
point literally just does a B&E real quick after he has a heart attack to get
Well,
in.
yeah, I mean,
to,
he's gonna die. So he's
yeah,
like, we need
I was
to-
like, but there are some things that I did like about this movie, like the little boy from the Hill
the
House.
beginning, yeah.
Yes, David. He plays David in this movie. I think his name is Julian. He's adorable, and he's so cute.
Okay, the most unrealistic thing and the furthest like stretch for me in this whole fucking movie is that kid's light bright set that wasn't all over the floor and actually had all the
it
pieces.
had all the pieces enough
and it
to
was
spell
like,
out his name.
Yeah, and it was like no. Okay, that is like the generic commercial for the light brights. I remember seeing as a kid. It was like there was the clown that was always on the box that you could make,
I wanted
and then
a
it would
light bright
show
as a kid.
showed everybody's name or whatever. I'm like,
And then I had
no
a
one
friend
ever
who had
leaves
one.
it that way. I'm trying to fucking talk
I
something.
was
I know
trying to
you
tell
guys
the
are
same
both
thing,
talking
too.
over each other.
I'm not done yet, you fucking rat bastard.
Hey, I'm talking about my
I'm
experiences with the light bright.
reliving light brights, okay? I actually had one, so shut up.
I did, and that's the point I'm trying to make.
Jealousy.
I'm just
I am
saying.
jealous. And then I had my friend who had it, and I
You
saw
know,
it,
you
and I'm
can
like,
buy
I was
one now,
disappointed.
right?
They
I
were
mean,
disappointing.
They were disappointing back then, too.
Yeah, they've
Yes.
always.
Did
been
you have a Teddy
disappointing.
Ruxpin song?
Yes.
Again, disappointing.
And I made it
You
play
never had
Spanish
Teddy
music.
Ruxpin? Yeah, we made it play Michael Jackson.
New Kids in the Block.
Yeah.
Spanish music is what we put it on. Make him sing that.
It had
was
like a
hilarious.
tape deck inside of
Yeah,
it.
that's why.
Yeah, I remember. Like,
Instead of actually
was-
making him
Instead of a
speak
spinal
Ruxpin.
cord, it had a tape deck. Or
Yes.
was it in the stomach?
the
I don't
umbilical
remember.
cord, yes.
Yes.
Instead of the umbilical cord, it had a tape deck.
I don't remember. Was it in the front? Or
I'm
the
pretty
back?
sure it was in the stomach.
Kim saying is in
wasn't
the
it?
back.
I
She's
think it
pointing
was
to
the
her back.
Yeah. You
I
put
don't
the tape
remember.
deck in the butt. That's what it was.
Maybe. Yeah, that could have been right.
'Cause
There was
the-
something with the stomach, though, too.
Yeah, that's right. It was the back because the back was flat, and then the stomach was supposed to be like soft and cuddly because you're supposed to like
Didn't it light up or something? Like,
I think the second version of the Teddy Ruxpin lit up
Okay.
or some
I
shit.
don't even-
I don't even know why we're
we're-
talking about
'cause
Teddy
you guys-
Ruxpin. I said
brought up the
light
light
brights, all right, and this guy got green with envy about light brights, and now we're fucking
And then when I was
Teddy
disappointed about
Ruxpin it up.
Kim saying it was in the back.
well, anyway,
Tape deck in the butt. There we go.
There you go.
we get a lot of odes to other horror movies in this one, especially
I
right
saw
off the
that.
bat with the Exorcist shot
Oh, yeah.
as the father
Yeah.
comes. I mean, to the exorcism, to be fair.
That's exactly what I thought of when I saw
But
it come
I'm
out of
like,
that.
okay, but why though? Is my
Because-
question. But
It's
why
just
do that
an
shot?
ode.
But I don't know. But like, I feel like if you haven't really, been, I don't know. I just feel like it was out of place. Like there was a lot of things I think just took me out of the thing. Just
Well, this
little
also
bits
wasn't
like
directed
this.
by Juan.
Oh, I know. None of these are anymore.
Well, yeah. So if this is just a guy,
Just put your stamp on it.
he's like,
you're
I'm going to do an
executive
ode
producer.
to. Well, I'm going to do an ode to all the movies I love as a
Yeah, I
filmmaker.
guess. I
Then
don't know.
that's how you
but
get
I think
all
if
the
you're
different
if you're
ones.
making it part of a franchise, you're just kind of taking it.
Well, when you make your
know.
movie,
I don't
Paul,
wanna
you can
fucking-
tell everybody what
will
to do
tell everyone.
until you
And
do.
everyone will get a light bright. That's their parting gift.
But anyway, I really think that little boy is so adorable, and he plays the exorcist well. He plays getting taken by a demon pretty well,
Oh, yeah.
and they do use that practical
Effect.
contortionist person in the exorcism.
I didn't think
when
that
they
was
stand up,
humanly
yeah.
possible.
Yeah, when he stands up, that's actual practical
Yeah.
contortionist.
No, yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
Everything that they
Okay,
did was practical effect, and some of the things that he did, I'm like, I had no idea a human can freaking do that.
I-
Like, put your arm under or your head under your arm like that. I'm
Yeah,
like, what
me
the
either.
hell?
The scene where the kid's in the shower
Mm-hmm.
and he was up still in his room and he's bath. Okay, fucking. Why does this little kid have a bathroom attached to his?
I don't know. Because all the 70s,
yeah,
all the houses
It was
in the
1981, and his dad was a fucking. Like he worked at the bowling alley and could afford all
80s.
this
I'm
shit,
just
right?
jealous of the housing market in
I
1981.
am jealous of
And it came with a pretty sweet waterbed.
It
so.
did.
I am jealous of
Um,
every movie that we've seen where these people have these giant, nice fucking houses.
We
Like,
just,
are you
know it's a
serious?
movie.
we millennials.
Still.
I know, like, if it was like the real people that lived in this, like half of these cases are like, okay, these people are crazy and they live in roach infested, like shack. Like those are the real people. Like
Yeah.
Bruno's
that's
house.
yeah.
Bruno's house for
Okay,
sure.
Bruno's
was
house
a
smelled,
roach-infested
probably.
dog kennel.
But no,
yes.
when he was in the shower and you see the demon hand on the top, I'm like,
yeah.
all right, well if his hand's up there, punch him in the balls, kid. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Start swinging.
punch him in the
Start
balls and
swinging.
run, man. What do you have to lose at this
yeah,
point?
and see, I would have been like screaming before. As soon as I see something moving, I'm like, ah!
I know. My first thing was like, okay, this kid's possessed, and you're waiting for the priest to come over to give you a fucking exorcism,
And y'all just
right?
leave
An
him
exorcism,
alone?
right?
Yeah.
Like a literally, like okay, it's been approved. Like it's not even
Leave
like the
him
thing. Like we've already
unsupervised.
skipped all the trials and tribulations of trying to prove all this shit. And like it's literally fucking approved, and we're just waiting for the guy to show up. And you're like, all right, we're just gonna throw him upstairs by himself.
Let him sleep.
We'll hope for the best.
Let him sleep.
I know
Yeah.
you couldn't just put him in the den or something.
Yeah, or
Like,
at least have someone just stay up there with him. You know,
It's like, don't leave him unsupervised. Come on.
I love when David just shanks
Put a
his
bell
dad
on that
with a
kid or
piece of glass.
something.
That he just straight
Yeah.
stabs that dude in the leg. He's like, "Fuck you, Dad."
This see the
And
whole.
the end tape, the real tape of them doing
Okay.
The Exorcist.
Oh
I
my
was like, yeah,
God,
this just
that-
sounds like a kid who hates his parents.
That I'm like, okay. First of all, the whole scene with the little boy, right? Julian. What's
Julian
name?
is his real name.
His real name. David. That's
David
okay.
is the character's name.
David. So when David is possessed or whatever, and the whole time I'm like, he's not possessed. This kid is like 6, 7. How old is he? Did they say? I don't know.
I think he was 8 or 9.
I think it was
Okay,
8.
so let's say
Yeah.
8-year-old, right? We have an 8-year-old. You give that little fucker too much sugar, and then he starts crashing. He acts exactly like David did, possessed. And like you try and tell a kid that, like, yeah, I'm like this whole thing is like this kid's not possessed. But then when we get to the actual thing, I'm like, this kid is just a dick. Like he's not possessed. I'm like, this sounds like a dick.
He's just pissed and like, I can say whatever I want because the devil is inside of me.
Fuck you. And I was like, I found it so hilarious on the real tapes where they're like, come on, get out of him. Like, come on, right now. Get out.
I know.
Get out. And the
so
mom's
passive.
like, stop that. Stop that.
They're so
And I'm like, this is not what you expect. I mean, obviously, you know, we're used to the Hollywood versions of fucking exorcism and all that.
Yelling at 'em.
But hearing them, and it's like, this is what an exorcism is like. And I'm like, this is why you never actually see the footage. It's just like hours upon hours, like, get out.
I know, because
Get
in
out.
every
Get out.
single Conjuring movie, there is their video guy.
Yeah.
Where are all their
The same,
videotapes?
at least that guy's got a great fucking franchise, like, you know, career for him.
Yeah,
like,
no,
just
good for him.
the
Yeah.
Asian videography guy and everything.
Yeah, I'm all for that. But like, if shit flew around like they say it did in that, you know, Exorcist or whatever, to enough where the priest got knocked out and like Ed had to take over, I'm like, bitch, show me those tapes. You want to legitimize yourself.
Like seriously, like
let me see them
so
tapes.
No, that leads me to thinking. Okay, so for the listeners, my dad likes to watch the cheesiest like ghost hunter shows,
Travel
right?
Channel
Those things are
ghosts.
hilarious.
We're gonna call him Grandpa Scary Nerd.
Yes.
So Grandpa Scary Nerd likes to watch the craziest, like cheesy, like what's that one dude? Is it Zach Baggins or whatever?
Zach Bang or something
I don't
like
remember his
that.
second name, but he's watched like those shows and everything, and it got me to thinking. I'm like, okay, you want me to believe all this stuff is real? Why every time that you have to go and investigate ghosts and everything, why do you have to turn the lights off? Like, if ghosts move shit all the time and all this stuff, like, why do you have to do it in the dark? Like, why is it always like, oh my God, I saw something over there? Yeah, it was pitch dark. We can't see it.
I know it's they're always doing the night vision, so it's always that green shit. I'm like, no,
look at this. Look
why
at this.
can't
Like,
the lights just
no.
be on?
Like, just turn the lights on. Like, if the ghost, like, are
The
ghosts
ghosts
afraid of the light?
they're
Like, is that
afraid
like what
of
the
the
fuck? Like,
light,
it's transverse. Like, well, I'm on the other side now. We can't be in the light.
fuck
Like,
yeah.
It's just not how it works.
So if
Like,
you're
fucking-
possessed by somebody, just turn the lights on.
Yeah, apparently, all you have to do is stay in the light at all
Okay,
times,
so-
and then they'll be gone. So,
so
like,
here's my
even the
question.
fucking ghost in Ghost was just hanging out at the subway with all the fucking lights on.
So here's
Yeah,
my
just
question.
hanging out.
I don't know how many exorcisms they performed, right?
I don't
know.
know,
They've done quite a few.
They've
to know-
claimed to done a lot.
I'm gonna say a
They've-
baker's dozen. at least.
They've done enough to know certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you put the little kid on the table inside the dining room where shit can still come flying at you?
Nobody knows.
Because if it was real solid, then you'd have to do it in like a padded room where
There you
nothing could come
go.
flying out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't they think that it was like hide the china because it's gonna start flying everywhere and start smacking you on the head?
Maybe that's another thing though. Like, it's just too much
It's
of the
a Hollywood-
Warrens.
it's the Hollywood
No, I'm
version.
saying it's
Oh,
just
you
too
mean
much
the-
of the Warrens. Like, we're, maybe are we done with the Warrens? Are we not believing in it
Because
anymore?
really, okay, you're depending on a priest to do this, and you have things that can come flying at your head, and if that dude gets knocked out like he did in this movie, and like now what?
Well,
Yeah, that's why you have a backup. At least the exorcism, like,
So
all right, we
if-
got a backup priest.
so
we
if
got
they
a
have
young,
the- so
we
if
got
they
an
have-
old guy and a young guy.
So if they had the backup priest with what's his face, Ed, then why the fuck did they even need that other one?
Well, because Ed's not a real priest, and this
No.
was a
But
fully
still, though.
sanctioned. This is a fully
But still, though,
sanctioned
he picked-
exorcism
he picked-
as sanctioned by the Catholic Church.
picked-
So
he
Ed
picked
is
up-
not a priest. He can't
He
do
picked
it.
up the Bible and started reading the passages.
Okay,
and
well,
filled in.
he was bad in cleanup because the dude got knocked out. All right,
Yes.
so, I
So
mean,
why did they even need him
Because
if-
it's an emergency.
I mean, there's just too many questions around the exorcism. Like, why? I get that it was supposed to be like we're gonna take them into the dining room to do it, right? But why would it be somewhere with so much stuff around
That's what I don't get.
to fly around?
I just don't get it.
Where wasn't there stuff in this house though?
I don't know.
bedroom?
And
Like,
if,
where do you think? Where do you
okay,
take
but
them?
like you were saying, if your son is like this is a sanctioned, exorcism or whatever, wouldn't you have cleared the stuff out of the house by now?
Hollywood version, man. Did you hear those fucking tapes? It was
Yeah.
literally them just yelling at a shitty kid
That's
that had
true.
too much fucking sugar. Like he got into somebody's
Well, and
stash
see,
of
I
something.
don't even think
No
it
more
was that.
Halloween
I
candy.
just think
Or
it was a
Halloween
kid who's
candy.
like, I don't have to listen to you because there's no repercussions. And they're like, oh, fuck, this kid possessed. Give
Nope.
me a...
We don't know what to do with it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that.
Wait,
Okay,
wait.
white families. Sorry, that's what it
Andrew,
was.
we're talking about the 80s, right?
Yeah.
How
Then
are there no
spank their
repercussions
kids.
where kids got the shit beat out of them when we were
But
kids?
that's the
because
thing.
these were people that didn't beat their kids.
No. These were the white parents. So they did
Yeah,
beat their kids. But when
no.
that didn't work, they're like, fuck, I don't know. He's possessed. I don't
Yeah.
know.
The kid got to like
He's still
8 or
taking a
9.
licking.
The kid got to 8 or 9. I was like, I don't have to listen to you fuckers.
I was that kid, but I was an abused kid. So one time they hit me and I was like, do it again.
Like, it don't hurt
Do
no
it
more.
again, and then you should see the fear in somebody's eyes when a kid does that. Yeah.
When they lose the power of that,
Yep.
like, okay, beating's no longer work. What the fuck do I have left? That's why the kid's like,
Yeah, like, fuck you.
he's like, oh shit,
You ain't
what
gonna
do we do now?
nothing
He's
else
possessed.
to me. Mhm.
Like,
Get
I
out.
ain't scared of you.
Get out of
more.
him.
And then apparently in the 90s and 2000s, people just were like, my kid's out of control. Come get them and take them to a camp.
And then they got sent to, was it Maury? Was it Maury's? Who did the
Yeah,
boot camps?
Maury
No,
did the
Maury
boot
did the boot
camps.
camps for a while, but there was someone else.
Jenny
that,
Jones did it too,
Yeah.
didn't she?
Jenny Jones, that's what
There
I'm
you go.
thinking of. Remember Rude Jude? Jenny Jones?
No.
Where they just
vaguely.
hired some guy to make fun of people. I'm like, that, when that started happening,
The
I'm like,
90s were wild,
when
man.
that started happening, I was like, that's a job. Like, fuck, I could make fun of
Until
people.
some guy went on that show and then killed somebody
That
else.
was,
Yeah.
uh,
That was Jenny Jones.
that
Yep.
wasn't with him, though. That
No,
had
and it wasn't
nothing
with
to do
him, but that
dude,
was Jenny Jones, yeah.
That was completely their fault.
Yes.
On their show. Because they lied to
100%.
those people.
Anyway, back to 1981, Ed and Lorraine. Ed has a heart condition now, and it's so funny to see
I'll stop your heart, old man.
to see the guy who plays Ed, because that is
Because he's not that old.
Well, no, he's not that old for one, and Ed was a larger dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he packed on the pounds after his heart attack, because I do
Oh, yeah.
know that
Oh,
he
yeah,
had a
yeah.
heart attack. But even in his younger years, he was not. You know,
He wasn't.
he wasn't the
skinny.
Hollywood version of Ed.
He was
Oh, yeah.
chunky.
Well, okay, no one's gonna watch the version of Ed Lorraine.
Yeah.
like,
He's a
the
little
real
chunky.
life people. Like
I
they-
do think that Vera though they got the hair down. They got
Yeah,
Lorraine's
her
hair
hairstyle and her
down.
clothes, I think, really
Yeah.
make her character.
Yeah. I think another thing that took me out of it was when they go and help that other detective with that case. I was like,
her whole visions and she's
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
and I'm like,
Where did that come from? Because that just was. It was
well, they went to
unintentionally funny to me.
yeah, like she's just stabbing a bitch in the woods.
Because if I was the detective, I'd be like, what the fuck is she doing?
Yeah.
Like, she's just swinging on things? What the hell?
And I know, again, Hollywood version, but it seems like they went from 0 to 100 with it.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Because, like, we've seen recreations of that on, Unsolved Mysteries and other stuff we've watched where the psychics lead them through on a case. You know,
Yeah.
we've seen that in pop culture, probably CSI and shit like that, right? Like, but it was so over the top where she's like running and she's in the chute, and I'm just like, none of this happened, guys. We
See, I
all
think-
know none of this
I
happened.
think if they stopped it to where it didn't have because you could see the hole, I'm like, he's gonna have to come grab her off the cliff. Like you could see that coming a mile away, and I'm like, I think if they had stopped it before that, it wouldn't have been as bad.
Yeah.
But definitely having that, I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
guys.
It still was funny when they were in the interrogation room and they brought out the murder weapon. They're like, okay, prove it to me. He's like,
Oh,
which
yeah.
one is it?
This one.
And in the background, you see the one cop have one money.
Yeah. They had a bet.
Because you knew they were going to do that. You knew it.
See, I want to know if they really helped solve this murder or found this body, like in the movie. I
Yeah.
wanted to look that up. I never did.
So, other than the ridiculousness of this movie, my biggest issue with it is they never actually ever revealed why what do you want to call it, the occultist? Mm-hmm. Why she picked them.
Oh, the priest answers that. There's no reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
She just picked random people.
Just pick random people.
Yeah, he says
that's
the
the one thing-
Satan's main mode is chaos.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. There's no why. It's just that person, that person, that person. There's
Satan-
never a
Because-
reason.
Because of Hollywood.
mode is
But because of Hollywood, it's like, okay, why did they pick them? And it's like, to me, it was like, okay, you just randomly picked that one college chick and then this,
Yep.
8-year-old boy?
Well, they were all
They all
in
lived around her.
proximity,
Yeah.
so it was
Okay.
like she probably went to some event or something. Because like the one chick that she bought the bracelet thing from the
Yeah.
festival thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, it wasn't from there, but it was from her college,
Whatever.
right?
Yeah, it was from college.
Yeah, she brought it home
'Cause-
from college.
Yeah, so it was like she went to college there in their town or whatever. So that's what it was. So yeah, she might have just signed up to
Just
fucking
randomly pick
She
people.
saw her
Mm-hmm.
at the grocery store or some shit. I was like, that one, why not?
She's like,
sure.
I pick you.
Hey, Michael did the same thing.
See, but did she just randomly put it in their house and was like, whoever buys this house next? I kind of took it that way too, like, because that's a lot of work to have to go under there when people are living there. To
Yeah.
crawl under the house and all that shit,
Yeah, so that could have been like she knew the house was for
Yeah.
sale or something, and then just went under.
and just went under there and like, oh, they left the
Seems
water bed, even better.
Or if you know people are in college, you're just like, here, go to like send it to a random dorm room.
It
You
seems
know,
like
you
a
know
lot of
somebody will
work.
get it.
To go under a crawl space to put that weird little
Hey.
whatever thing that
Well,
was.
But we
okay,
don't know
totem.
what she was trying to get from the demon, though. We don't
No,
know
we
what
don't.
her end game was. So maybe the end game, begat the means.
Yeah.
Is what
I
I'm saying.
don't want to make fun of anyone. Just gonna say that.
But
I could
Arnie's
think of a
like,
few things.
get out of this child, take me, which you probably shouldn't do in
No,
an exorcism.
that's
Horror
just
PSA: don't invite a demon into your body.
And then-
I have a
Probably
different
not a
horror
good
PSA
idea.
that involves Arnie. We'll get to that.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
Then
still, though, that
Arnie
was-
gets got because if you don't
Wait,
start
when-
none, there won't be none, right?
Whenever is saying "take me" instead a good idea?
No, it's not.
Like I get if it's like my child is hostage. It's like okay, take me instead of my child. Like I get that, but the demon part, I'm like okay, it's not like. To me, like demons are like herpes, basically. So you're like, don't give him herpes, give me herpes instead. Like how you can never get rid of these herpes. You always have the demon herpes like, on you.
Right? You
And
got
are
that
you
demon stink.
and
You don't
like
want
are
that.
you more susceptible to being demonized again if you've been like is
Possessed.
repossessed a thing? Like is that
like you don't have enough demon antibodies?
yeah, like you didn't
to
build
get
up
them
a
again?
demon
Yeah.
immunity enough.
You know, my ass
it
got the
happened
chicken
once.
pox twice, so I'm gonna say
See,
you
so
can
like
get
I
possessed
get
by a demon.
So
twice.
is it the level of possession that
Yep,
you get?
that's
So
what
like
it is.
Reagan wasn't safe. See, she didn't get enough.
Well, no, I think I just recently finished the book of The Exorcism. I will say that I do think Reagan got plenty.
Okay, well I'm only going off the movies, so yeah. So like, what's the level of it then? If you don't get enough of it, you can't be a
Reagan got
immunity.
a plenty, and then Karis took the end to the end.
Yes,
so,
man. But
yeah.
Still, so horror PSA. I guess if you're gonna get demonized, get demonized to a good enough so you don't get it again.
Yeah.
So.
And I also have a question about the whole totem and thing. So if he invited the demon in, right, and he was like, "Take me," blah blah blah. But what if they would have left the town? Do you think like the demon has or
Yeah,
the
so what's
occultist
the-
has like a parameter?
what's the
like,
range on the
yeah, what's the
totem?
radius of this curse?
It's
I
like
wanna
it's
know.
like extended
effective no
Wi-Fi.
more.
Well, she triangulated it into an area, so it was like
How
her own
far
5G
does
tower,
the occult
basically.
just reach? Just what I want to know. I have
Yeah, because then like
questions.
because if you could just do that to anybody, right? If you just mailed the totem and
Yeah.
then that was it, I'm like, you could be like Unabomber style, like
Exactly.
pick 5 fucking
There you
people
go.
anywhere
Yeah,
in the
just
U.S.,
anywhere.
right? Like, oh, Professor so, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah, just-
which is what Kaczynski did. By the way.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't like some professor and just
You make the list like the dude in Billy Madison.
yeah. There you go. So
Well,
like,
the OG Judy is back in this one. The original Judy
right.
from the first Conjuring comes back as Ed and Lorraine's daughter.
are these all? I mean, I know like the nun and the offshoots are not timeline, wise going in order, but are the Warren ones, are the Conjuring ones
I
going?
have
in?
no fucking idea.
Because I don't remember. I want to say the first one was in the 70s for sure, and I don't remember the English one if they were. I think it was the 70s. So
I think
I
it
don't
might have
remember
been
the second
later
one.
in the 70s. Yeah, the English one had the Crooked Man.
yeah,
Crooked Man.
Yeah,
I don't think I saw the second one.
well, they're in
it's
England.
decent. You should watch
They're in
it.
England.
Mhm. But yeah, I don't know. Arnie's boss peer pressures him into drinking. He's like, "Come on, Arnie, just one." He's like, "I don't feel good," and then the next thing they're just drinking. I'm like,
Yep.
"Poor Arnie."
My horror PSA is: don't ever get drunk with your landlord. That could never end.
That's
good.
not
Like,
gonna end
okay,
well.
even if your dad or your some family member is your landlord, do not get drunk with your landlord. Like that
Yeah.
could never end well. I mean, I'm not saying no one someone's gonna stab somebody per se, but
I
yeah,
could see that coming even if he wasn't possessed. It's like he's going to get drunk. He's going to start hitting on the girlfriend. They're going to get jealous, and guess what's going to happen?
but was he though?
No, he wasn't because
Yeah,
it
it
showed.
was the demon showing Arnie what would have triggered him. I feel.
Yeah. So, but I'm like, Arnie, just chill out.
I don't know.
bro.
Bruno is a. I'm having a hard time putting into words what kind of guy I think Bruno was. 'Cause you only get a little glimpse of him, but that's a very telling glimpse, right? Like, I feel like he kind of just fell into this boarding kennel thing. Like, I don't know. I have a whole backstory in my head of Bruno to where like his mom was running it, and now she's dead, and he's stuck with it. But he likes to get drunk and party because it was the '70s, man. Now it's the
See,
80s.
I don't know how much. I don't know how many liberties they took with the real guy.
Yeah.
that
Oh, I'm
Arnie had
sure it's
killed,
nothing.
You
Like,
know.
oh, I'm sure it's completely.
And that's
like,
another thing with this one. Maybe it's just like because somebody actually died. It's like
Yeah.
sleazy. You know, it's like it makes it an extra layer of.
yeah, like there's just there is those extra layers of like, did this really happen, or are we just kind of shitting on people's memories? Or,
Yeah, yeah, and even like I mean, in '81, you were alive.
like, I was 1 year old.
I'm not saying that you were gonna remember. I'm just saying you were alive, so it wasn't like not recent. There are still people that live around that probably knew this guy. Is what
okay,
I'm
so
saying.
the first one,
the guy that died. Or?
Yeah.
we got an addendum.
81,
on TV.
81, 77, 71. That's
Okay.
going in
Okay, so
reverse
it's going.
order.
Okay.
So 71, 77, 81. So we
Yes.
are going in chronological order
going in.
according to the case files of Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yes. And I wanted to see more of that other case file of the person that they supposedly found, but
Yeah, let's look up that case. That's what I want to do. I want to research that for no fucking
I did
reason.
like the whole aesthetic though of the "call me" scene when Arnie goes crazy
Yeah.
and it's just being chased by that.
I did
creepy-
enjoy that scene. It was kind of creepy and trippy, like kind of like a late 70s vibe. Like you feel like a weird trip like Arnie was having. And yeah, I like that part, but I don't know. I mean, you knew what was going to happen. Like, I don't know. There wasn't any surprises. I think maybe that's the other thing too with these Conjuring movies. Like, there's no surprises anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
Lorraine spoiled
Like-
it for everybody. He's like, there's something bad's going to happen at the boarding house or the whatever it was called.
Yeah, that I don't know. I mean,
And-
it's just
Yeah.
not even just that. I think it's just we're not surprised in how these movies end up turning out. Like it was a little different in the fact that like it's not a straight demonic possession. You're cursed. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's so hard to just be like, oh, we get to watch this guy get out of a murder charge. Like
Yeah.
that's legitimately what happened.
Yeah, it's like how are we gonna beat this?
Yeah, and I like, and the rational side of my brain's just like, this happened. This guy actually did just do
Yeah, somebody died.
You know, like it's like because they tell you that all at the end, and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, that
Well-
seems sleazy.
The Scooby-Doo thing that took me to the movie, or that I took from the movie, is when you see the other father who was researching that one cult or whatever, and he'd be like,
Yeah,
it's him.
Kastner.
It's like, it's him.
I
Where
liked his little demonic basement.
See, I'm always like, I automatically didn't trust that guy because I'm like, you're the. I only remember him from Lord of the Rings as the one dude. I don't fucking remember his name.
Well, I just knew it was. He just gave me that vibe. Like he's gonna be associated with it somehow.
Yeah,
Like,
I
how?
don't. I
don't know.
I didn't like that because I'm like, I don't know how much of this is real per se. So I'm like, was there really some lady that they had to go beat up in a fucking underground tunnel that was really some occultist
Yeah.
daughter that the priest that they happened to like? He learned about the disciples of the Ram, and now
Yeah,
he stole a
see,
bitch. Like he
it's-
stole a kid. Like wait, he didn't steal a kid. He had a baby, right?
had
It
a
was his
baby.
wife. He had a
Yeah.
wife. So,
it wasn't
yeah.
his wife. He just
That's
had a
why she's an
baby.
occultist then, because it was out of wedlock or out of.
No,
He
You're not supposed to.
betrayed God.
You betrayed God and had a daughter.
He wasn't supposed to be having none of the fun
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
because
He was a priest.
He got kicked out of the church or whatever it may be because he had a kid, and then he's
No,
like,
they didn't know about it. He said he raised them. He raised her in secrecy.
Yeah. He said he just retired after.
No, he
doing
just
all
he
the
said he
stuff.
wanted to stay there and just look after his collection and just basically raise his kid there in secrecy.
And
Yeah,
then he
and
said
see,
that-
I want to know if that happened. Like, was that
Okay,
a
but yeah, but, like,
occultist guy? Like, that's
yeah,
what
I'm
I need to
okay,
know.
if that was real, like what happened to this lady? Is this bitch's body just still underneath the ground somewhere? Like, oh, we just left everything
In these
there. We don't know what
tunnels.
happened to it. It's
Mm-hmm.
the Chuds got her. I don't
They
know.
left her in the tunnels.
Yeah. See, I can jump into it. It can be creepy and scary when you say this house is haunted or there's something in this house, right? A normal trope. I can go along with it, even as wild and crazy as some of their claims were in the other Conjurings. But when you try to tell me that I had to fight a real bitch and then I saw her get taken to hell, like I know.
Yeah, because everything else, I think it's far fetched, but still in the realm of believable Hollywood.
Yeah, it's
extra
in the realm
bullshit.
of supernatural.
Yeah,
But when you tell
'cause you
me
can-
they're
yeah, you
real
can-
people and you're manipulating the law, I'm like,
Yeah, it's like we solved the murder, or we found the girl's body or whatever because she had a vision, and then we had to murder this priest's illegitimate daughter that nobody knew about. So I'm like, what's her name then? Because she doesn't even have a name in the movie.
Yeah.
It's
No,
the
she
occultist, the occultist Kastner, I guess. So
And-
it's
and
like,
did-
what happened to this lady? Is she still there?
And I
know.
want to know, did like the priest teach her this occultist stuff, or did she
Well,
like
she said
take
that-
a learning annex course?
I know.
or
Is this
something?
another one of these fucking things where like you didn't lock the room, like you stupid ass? Like, now you like he learned his hard way. Like, well, now I lock the room, but before that, I told her to stay out.
Well, the thing that I remember him saying is that he studied it so much, and it was be careful what you study because someone else might
Oh
take
yeah,
up them.
Your
take that-
obsessions become
yeah.
their obsessions.
Yes.
yeah.
And so she was like, "Oh, this is cool."
fault. I didn't want my daughter.
Well, our kids will be messed up because of our horror movie exception.
No, our kids will know not what to do. Like they'll know
will
what
survive.
not to do in
This
every
is true.
fucking horror situation. Like, oh, that's a
Don't
demon.
invite the demon.
That's a
into
demon.
your
Don't invite him in.
mind.
I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
What if they smashed the totem? That was my other thing, right?
That was what I was wondering.
Like, what if
too.
you just smashed it? Would that just close the gate or the portal, or what are the invites? Oh, invitation ripped.
Or you gonna
Like,
piss them off?
like what is that?
Invitation
Like, what does
closed.
that do? Like,
No clue.
No-
We get no answers.
no answers.
I know, because when Lorraine crawls under the house and finds her army of rats along with the totem after Ed ominously goes, "That's not water damage."
Okay, so how did the family not even notice that they had a rat infestation?
No clue.
Like, really? Come on.
Well, I mean, Arnie sees that one in the cereal. I'm like, there are rats in the cereal. You better throw that box away.
No, when he had that
Gross.
scene and the cereal box started moving, I'm like, he has that face like, fuck. I just ate a chip that was just in an open bowl on
Yeah.
the table, and there are fucking rats everywhere.
like, damn it.
Yeah. Ugh.
I know, it's like, why were the rats drawn to that? Like, that's the other thing. Like, okay, I get that this is Hollywood movie. Like, all right, there's the evil totem, and the rats are drawn to him. I'm like, but rats still got to motherfucking eat, man.
Yeah. they're
Yeah.
hungry.
Like, it wouldn't like they would just be hanging out there, just waiting for another rat to drop off. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, man. Like,
And maybe another thing, all the
there's too many cliches in this movie.
so many
I
cliches.
think that's what it is.
Because they had a whole Ed and Lorraine how they met, and it was in the rain, and then I'm like,
love is our
"Bleh." We don't need your backstory, guys.
They think it's our weakness.
And I think that all the promotional stuff I saw from the two actors who play Ed and Lorraine were it's about their love, and their love was so strong. I'm like, stop trying to humanize them. If you're trying to tell me they fought demons, no, don't make them
They
real.
watched a demon drag a woman to hell.
Yeah, no, they didn't. That's not real. You can't convince me otherwise. All right, until I see a demon take a bitch.
And then end the whole fucking thing with Ed like, get out of him, get out,
Yep.
get out now.
Yeah.
And then the mom like, get out of him,
You
get out of
gotta,
there
you
right
gotta
now.
tell him. Tell your son. Tell him to get out of your son. Why? You think the demon's gonna
I
listen
love
to
how
me?
the mom was like, hold him down or something. Like, what the fuck do you want me to like? Arnie, real
I know.
Arnie was like, what do you want me to do? I don't know. Like shit, they must have so the whole love story part between Arnie and the daughter or whatever, Debbie.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was bullshit then because you guys were already like, fucking Arnie, do something. Like you were already yelling him like it was one of your kids, lady.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he was part of the family.
I know, and I don't know why it makes it better because they really drive home that they got married out of during prison and they were still married to this day. I'm like, does it make it better that he killed the guy that they got married afterwards?
I immediately
I
thought like this is an awkward conversation to have with your grandkids. You never told them we got married in prison.
Yeah.
Papa went to prison.
Yeah, for murdering
he
a dude.
killed
Yeah,
a
he
man.
killed a dude.
Got
What?
drunk one night, killed the guy. Oh, he was possessed though. Don't worry about it. Is he gonna be
What?
possessed again? I don't know. Maybe.
If you don't believe me, ask Ed and Lorraine. They'll tell
Papa,
you all
don't
about
drink anymore, please.
right?
I don't want you to kill anyone.
I mean, that's really, you got to stop drinking if you get drunk or kill a guy, right?
You think that's the
Right?
point? You gotta stop drinking? I think it should stop before then. I think
Well, I mean, but
think
that's
killing
like-
should be like that was
that's like
5 steps ago. I should have
The rock
stopped.
bottom,
The
right?
rock
like
bottom.
that's like the rock bottom. Like if you get to it, you know for sure I've made some missteps somewhere. I need to go back and stop
I
drinking.
still
Right.
think murder should be at least 5 steps beyond where you should have been rock bottom.
Hey,
at that
I don't
point.
know
All
where
right,
people's
man,
rock
like,
bottoms are. All right, I'm a
Ugh.
stoner. My rock bottom is a whole pan of brownies. All right,
That doesn't sound like rock bottom. That sounds like an awesome time.
it does. I saw a science article that says what happens when you mix mushrooms with weed, and everybody in the comments was like, a good time. Like, yeah. But back to The Conjuring
That's
3.
one tasty pizza.
And maybe it's another one that we had to wait so long for it. I'm just like, meh. It wasn't like, it was so hyped because it was like
You know,
all the way through the pandemic.
Maybe it's just
and-
where we are in life right
Maybe.
Because
I'm
maybe
just
like
that ain't
pre-pandemic,
real.
you know what? Maybe it would I'm just saying like maybe pre-pandemic we'd have been like that was a fun time. Yeah, it's far fetched, but who gives a shit?
Now
it's a fun
gotta
movie. Now
really
it's like
hold,
that's stupid.
yeah, it's really got to hold our attention. And maybe I'm just sick of people. And I'm like, no, fuck Ed and Lorraine with their whole finagling of the law.
We've
no,
become more cynical.
we for sure
That's what I'm
have.
saying. Like, if they had just full on just added cheese and been like, we need a Saul Goodman type lawyer to be like, here's what we're gonna do, and just fucking
Wheeling, dealing for the
balls
Lord.
to the wall with like the devil defense, like the devil lawyer. It's like the devil made you do it. Call Saul.
I love how her little table looked like a Satan's perch. I was
There
like,
you
is
go.
this little bird gonna come? A little Satan bird gonna come sit on your perch with your little cup?
On
On her altar. Yeah, that they had to find and destroy.
You must destroy the altar. So what if she actually like knocked it over herself? Like, no!
Oops.
That's why she had to make it really big and really heavy. So if she bumped into it a few times, it would have been okay.
Yeah.
So note to self, if I'm ever sacrificing something, I need to make a very strong altar.
Yes.
Nobody
There you
can
go.
break.
I do love at the end how the Satanist goes all Reagan and turns into an origami piece.
What if I have a pocket altar, right, that I just hide somewhere? Nobody can find it.
But
right?
what if it gets broken, though?
Are there dimensions of how many? Like, I have a safe deposit box in the fucking bank. Then
Yeah.
that I keep my pocket altar, and then I just go into the bank and use it when I need it. So what happens if nobody can ever find your altar, or like whatever? Like
Then
nobody
they
can
can't
destroy it,
stop.
right?
Yeah, then
Nobody
they
can
can't
destroy
stop
it.
your stuff.
Are there
based on these
parameters-
movies laws?
Are
that
there
I know.
dimensions for how big the altar has to be?
I
Like
don't
that's
know.
the other thing.
I didn't get the pamphlet, so I don't know.
Is that another like reception thing? Like the bigger the altar, the better reception.
Maybe
It's
we
like
should
Wi-Fi.
email a Satanist out there. If you could email us
See, like,
and
if
let us know.
If my altar is small, like you can't
Yes.
do anything, right? Like what are you gonna
Like
do?
a participation trophy small.
There you go.
You just
Yes.
carry it around. It's a
There you
little
go.
altar. You do little mini spells on
I
it.
like I have a little cup. Here's my little chalice. Like,
You
there
know
go.
what I want to think too is like she wasn't using measuring cups or anything when she was pouring stuff into her little cup. Like how much blood of stuff do you really need? Like if is it just a little drop?
I know when you always hear the witches like eye of Newt. I'm like, but how big?
But
Like,
how
what-
much? Like, is it
what
just
if
a
this one
sliver?
has small eyes and this
Yes.
one has big eyes?
Is
right?
it like
what's the
garlic? I
average?
measure with my heart. Like
know.
I don't know. I have so many questions.
And
about
what happens to these potions after they? I mean, I know like Hocus Pocus, they make the little kid drink it, but it's like, okay, the other ones you do, like, does someone have to drink that, or just by making it, does it make stuff happen?
No
Like,
one knows.
And if
Don't
you
know.
dump that out, like, see, yeah, so many
See-
questions. We need a witch.
If it was real, we would know the answers. is the-
Well, no, it's just the best kept secrets.
I did appreciate, but I was thinking to myself too when what's his face Ed got possessed by, or what did she do to him? She blew.
Oh,
what?
when she sends those. You
Oh,
mean at the end
the-
when
yeah,
he's
the end.
throwing around the
yeah.
hammer everywhere?
I know. I was like, is this gonna be fucking? I was going back to Jean-Claude Van Damme days, and I'm like, is this fucking Bloodsport when he
Yeah.
gets the powder in his eyes and
So he gets
he has to
what?
fight with like,
Whatever she blows into his eyes,
Come
I was
on,
thinking,
Ed.
okay, you guys want to destroy the altar. Is like, Lorraine, you probably know where the altar is. Lure him over there so he can start fucking shit up.
That's pretty much what she does.
yeah. And my question was like, why did the lady just let them?
Yeah.
Like, wasn't she standing right there?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she finished her thing on the altar and then just left. Like, they'll figure it out.
I know. I'm
themselves.
like, she just comes out of the darkness all of a sudden,
Yeah.
and I'm like, were you just watching these two? You didn't help?
Like you didn't think that, okay, he might kill her, but they're standing super close to my altar, so why not just, let's play it safe.
It'd be like, back up, back up, back up, back up.
I
back
also
up.
loved when Lorraine smacks a satanic bitch with a rock. He's right in the face.
That was a good
I
shot.
do love a good shot of a bitch getting smacked.
Well, still, I mean, we find out what happens is what when Ed is kind of snapping out of it, and he goes to do what is it? Looks
When
like
he gets his eyes back.
yeah.
When the love conquers all.
It happened to be because it's Hollywood. He's right above the altar thing, and he freaking just destroys
Well,
it.
they needed an easy way for him to destroy the altar because Lorraine was trying to push it over. She just couldn't do it.
There was too many convenient shit like that.
Yeah.
Like the priest being also the dad of the, like, I know who it is, and like,
Yeah. Come on, guys.
come on, like,
Yeah.
I get, like, okay, we don't need another character. We can just combine it. Because that's producer think. Like, why make
Yeah.
two characters when I can make one? He's also the daughter
Yeah,
of
there
this.
was
Like,
so much like shortcuts they did because even
Yeah.
after the whole like they're like, well, we have to go back to the beginning, and I wrote a note. It's like, we have to go back to the beginning, Fezzik.
we have
Like,
to go
what?
back to the beginning.
I'm like, why are we just throwing in random lines but not?
Yeah,
like,
that was his homage to Princess
Yes,
Bride.
I'm like, come on. Like, but
have
there
to
were
go back to
some,
the
there were some
beginning.
decent shots and some cool parts. Like I said, I liked the Exorcist or the Exorcism in the beginning, and I really also liked the morgue scene. But
Oh,
I
the fat
don't
dude?
know why
The
you
morgue
would have
scene
to
was,
have a wind-up light in a morgue.
I know.
don't
That
get it
didn't
either.
make any sense. I was like,
Why-
why would
okay.
you only have a light that you could turn on
Why-
for 15 minutes at a time? In
Why
a
were
morgue?
those ever a thing?
I
like,
don't
I don't
know.
get that. Like, I get that if you're like, those always make you think of like hotel hot tubs, right?
Yeah.
And, like, that's the only time it's like, all right, I get it, because you don't want the fucking hot tub on
to
all
run
day.
and run and
Like,
run. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a light in
Yeah,
a morgue
in a morgue.
basement? Like, no, you do
You know,
autopsies
you-
down there.
you know-
Why
you know
you
what
just
it
have
is?
a light on?
It's in case people break in. All right, if they break, in
I
case they break
guess.
in, they'll be like, okay, you only get 15 minutes.
and
of
it,
light.
like, and as soon as he wound it that first time, you're like, "Fuck!" There's a plot point. Like,
Yep.
come on.
yeah, that's not going to come into play in 5 minutes.
But there were some cool things, like the dead fat guy that just like.
I would be
runs
scared
at
too
them.
if the dead fat naked dude was running
I
after,
know.
alive or dead.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
if there's a fat naked dude running after me, I'm like, no, I'm not.
And he
no
wants to
thank
kill
you.
you?
No thing. It was it Let's Be Cops? Was it that one where the fat naked dude in the hardware store, or
Yeah.
whatever that was, that totally was like, no, you
Yeah.
get him. I don't
No,
know.
not
That's
getting
on
him.
you, man. No.
And he wants to kill you on top of that too.
Yeah. Ugh, no, but yeah, that was creepy. There were also just,
So okay, so not only can she make demons jump into people, she can just make dead people rise and just stampede other
fucking
motherfuckers.
magical
Goes into
Like,
the
what
past.
is
Fucking
this shit, man?
magic.
Like, what? Okay, I want to know what's in this guy's like stash now. If he's
Yeah.
got all these magical cookbooks and puppet books, I don't know what the fuck you call
nobody
them, right?
knows. Satan books.
Satanic puppetry.
Satanic puppetry. I also had questions because like they get him put on a 24-hour suicide watch. Arnie.
Yeah.
They get Arnie put on a suicide
Hey,
watch.
let's give him some glass.
Yeah, but no, I also had a question. What if you just drank the holy water? Because then technically
That
it's
was my
in your
thing too,
body.
right?
I'm like, it's in your body, and eventually you'll sweat it out because eventually
Yeah.
water becomes all of you, right?
That's
It
what I was
circulates all over. So I'm like, you just be all over blessed, bitch.
Okay, here's another thing though. Would it burn when you pee?
I don't know.
No, it's just
Still
water.
It's holy water. It's different.
They literally just went over the top.
Then why can't you do that over the toilet and dunk your head in if you just like, power of Christ, this is now holy?
Because you did not get the holy license to be able to, license out water for the Lord. It's about distribution.
I got
Paul.
ordained online, all right? I'm an ordained minister online.
But are you Catholic? Or you don't think you're a Catholic?
Okay, so
ordained?
why do the Catholics have the fucking monopoly on exorcism?
Because
right?
they've got the Pope. That's
in
like
America,
an antenna
anyway.
to God.
In America,
yeah.
anyway.
Uh-huh.
I mean, for us, I don't know, maybe the Italians because they
The
actually
Pope's
do.
got the hat that gets the direct signal to the Lord.
That's like the
yeah, it's the
like
massive
the
antenna.
what's it
Yeah.
called? like Bender.
But see,
Yeah.
There you go.
I was with
Bender
you.
Bending Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
I was with you because, like, why did he give him the little bottle of holy water? It's like, what the hell is he supposed to do with that?
I know. I'm like, it's so tiny. Just drink it.
Because that's what I was thinking
He's
too. It's
like, just drink this.
because like, is he supposed to drink it? And then when he saw him do that circle around, I was like, this isn't hocus
What?
pocus. dude.
What?
That's not
Was,
gonna
I
work.
know.
Right?
What happens when that evaporates? Like
Yeah.
that's like
Right?
2
Like,
minutes of protection until it's gone.
Right? And so I was like, pour it on your head would be more practical because even if it dried, you'd still have the residue of the Lord, right? That's
The
right?
residue of the
I don't
Lord.
know.
I don't know if that's a thing or if that would work to save you
I
from
don't know.
demons.
I do
And
not know.
Call
How
a
long?
priest.
How
That's
long
it. Call a
is?
fucking priest.
How
right
long
now.
is the holy water potent for after it's
I don't know.
blessed? I have
See,
questions.
this goes back to our whole pool thing. If
Well,
I bless the pool
yes.
once,
Yes.
does the filter out the holiness or not?
And still, the other thing about it though too was he was placed under what 24-hour surveillance.
Yeah.
They didn't do a very good job
No,
of surveillance.
it was just the one dude who came around every few minutes.
Yeah,
and checked.
he cut himself. All right.
Because the one
Send
thing you got to
something in
think,
here.
the one thing you got to think of too is like, okay, yeah, it's a priest or a father, whatever you want to call him, but you still don't. You have to give him a little shakedown. And be like, you're not going to give him anything that he's going to be able
call
to
him
do.
Jeff.
Yes.
Oh my god! At the end, the prison priest at the end when he's trying to do the exorcism, he's totally out of his element. He's like, "Okay, we're gonna do this little exorcism. I'm gonna open my book
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say
I
stuff."
totally got Tully from
Well,
Ghostbusters.
yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I did it!
It was me.
The thing that cracked me up, and I don't know if you guys noticed it, I was looking at the background with that one nurse that was.
Oh
in-
yeah, that
she's
nurse
like-
yeah.
was shitting bricks.
She
the
was
whole
on the
time.
phone like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I don't know. This guy is floating. He is just hanging
All
in
right,
the
he
air.
just floated.
I
Please.
need some help, please.
'Cause that's the one thing I'm like, you trying to think of that practically.
I know.
and you're
Yeah.
just sitting
I
there
love
like,
that
what the
part
fuck
where
is
she's
going
like,
on?
she has like another dude. She's like, look over there. Look, he's floating right now.
That dude is fucking
He
floating.
was like, what the fuck is going on out
See,
there?
now if he would have told me that bitch testified for Arnie, I'd be like, okay,
Yes.
all right, maybe then
I,
we'll.
I wanted that lady and like
Yeah.
a cleaning lady, like, yes, he floated.
He
He
floats.
float. He
float.
Speaking of cleaning lady, the first time she comes to him in the prison or whatever, and he's mopping, I'm like, why
Yeah.
the fuck is he mopping at night? In the
know.
dark,
Yeah.
in the hospital ward? That makes no
Well,
sense.
people are trying to
I
sleep.
know. I was like, what the fuck is
When
this
that one
scene?
dude sat up, I was like, that this dude isn't possessed. He's like, what the fuck, man? I'm trying to
I'm
sleep.
trying to sleep here. And he sits up real quick to sing Call Me. Though.
They did
Yeah.
a lot of shit in that movie that made no sense. I'm like, why are
Yeah.
you doing this in the dark?
It was just, it seemed like a bunch of one-liners and nonsense just thrown together.
Yeah.
On the backdrop of an Ed Lorraine story.
Yeah.
So maybe that was my overall
It
problem
is,
with
yeah.
it. It
I don't
just
know. It's
wasn't
just-
that great.
It's just cliche here. Like, it was like, not even paint by numbers. It was almost like, boop, 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 computer, like, spit it out.
Yeah. This is what the people want from a Conjuring film.
Conjuring 3 will be.
I do love how they take her cup as a trophy. And it's like, this cup is mine. We've earned
No,
it.
that makes me think. In one of the other Conjurings, he tells that reporter dude, he's like, we have a priest come by and bless it, once every week or something like that. So I'm like, so the holiness does wear off. So maybe its shelf life is only around 7 days.
7 days. Okay, so if you use the holy water, though, does that mean, like, if you pour it on yourself and you don't shower, do you have protection for 7 days then?
I don't
Why
know.
would it be 7?
Well, he said once a week.
Well, on the 7th day, the Lord rests.
Yeah, so it
right.
should be
maybe
6.
that's when.
Well,
Well, on
maybe
the
it is
7th
6.
day is, or maybe
Well,
it is 6 because he comes once a week.
Is
right?
7 a free day though?
I don't know.
You
Maybe
get
the
full
7th is the
like,
Sabbath.
Like
and
you work
just
for
reserve
6,
it.
you get one on God. All right, 6 days you get one free. It's a free space.
There you go. There you
Okay.
go.
I don't know. Maybe that 7th day he has to come back. But
I
think
don't-
how fucking annoying that would be. Like even as a
Yeah.
priest to be like, I'm gonna come to your fucking house once a week.
Every
Yeah.
Sunday.
I don't even like doing church once a week, motherfucker.
I think it's so funny because obviously, again, I know that this movie is about Ed and Lorraine and its Hollywood dramatization, but the Warrens really were out there saying this shit happened, right?
my
Like they were
gosh.
really out there saying we cured people from demons. And I don't know, now that I'm, mid-30s, post-pandemic and hate people, I'm just like, I'd punch Annabelle in the face. Like, fuck
Welcome
that
to the
doll. It's
club.
just a doll.
It's like, what's that dog going to do to me?
It's just a fucking doll. I'd kick it.
I always think about that and Chucky. Even now watching the series, I'm like, I don't know. I don't
Fuck that doll. I'm taller.
He's stabbing this one kid who's crawling away. I'm like, kick him over.
Yeah.
It's
At that
still
point, when
a
you're trying to
doll.
sit
Still
on
just
him?
a doll. Yeah.
It's like, sit on him. What's he going to do?
Still a doll. Kick him over.
Because that little girl's just picking him up and carrying him
Yeah.
like it's nothing. It's not heavy.
Yeah.
He's just a little doll.
He's like, I want to sit on you, Chucky.
Yeah, see?
Same thing with this kid. Like, just smack him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I don't care how big of a demon you are, right? You still feel pain, right? You're still going to feel you're inhabiting the body of some. So if I smack the shit out of that little kid, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, get out. Get out. instead, like, in real life, apparently, when you hear the recording, it's like, we're going to annoy him to death. We're going to annoy him until he gets out.
No, I think there probably
out.
was at points that
Get
they
out.
hit him. They just didn't put those
That was
on
the only
movie.
That was
Yeah.
the only clean clip where
Yeah.
no one was cursing
Like,
or
I wanna
actually
hear the
beating
uncut.
the child.
Well, because that's why they've stopped doing they've stopped doing so many exorcisms because people actually died because they were starving people and injuring them during these things. Literally, not Ed and Lorraine specifically, but just in general, exorcisms usually ended with people dying because they were like, we don't have to treat this person like a human
Like,
because it's a
oops.
demon.
You
Get out.
smacked him in the head a little too hard, and now he's not breathing. Like, uh-oh.
Yeah, see, post-pandemic, Angie just can't. I'm like, no, Warrens, fuck you.
send the demon to the
I'm
timeout.
like, nope, vaccines work and your magic bullshit ain't real. All right. Get out of here with it. Send Annabelle to my house. I'll kick her. I don't care.
You fight Raggedy Ann.
I would. And that was The Conjuring 3.
If a plastic box can hold her in, I
Right?
think I can take it.
Yeah.
Do not open. Fuck, I'll open it. I'll
Well,
fuck
that's
around and
what
find
happens.
out. Mm-hmm.
I might just take a shit in there. What are you gonna do about that?
I mean, I'll slap the shit out of her.
Right? I'll slap a bitch. That's my favorite thing, is to see a bitch get slapped. I'll slap a little bit.
You can't
I'll
destroy
do
it
the,
though.
I'll do
It
the
lets
Chucky
demon
thing.
out.
Like the mom did. She's like, talk to me, damn it.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to me.
I'm going to throw you in the fire,
Let's
bitch.
let's make a movie where somebody collects all this shit and then somehow everything breaks and then all the demons are out.
She's like, oh.
Oh, like a Goosebumps version of... Because the Goosebumps movie is where all of his stories
yeah.
come out of the book.
Well,
Thanks
yeah, but
to
I'm
my
saying-
children
I'm saying-
for making me watch that movie.
Like in
So
Ghostbusters?
yeah, like I'm saying,
Like Ghostbusters?
oh yeah, kind of.
Yeah, when all the ghosts
when they
come
turn
back,
off
yeah.
turn off the power and all
Yeah.
that. So yeah, everything comes out. Like, that would
Mm-hmm.
be, but like demons, not like silly fun ghosts or silly fun R.L. Stein imagination.
My favorite, when all the ghosts come back still, is from Ghostbusters 2, though, and the Titanic shows up and Cheech is
It's like, better late than never.
Yeah, I remember seeing that movie in theaters.
I was
love
all
that.
about that. And Ghostbusters Afterlife comes out this month.
Yes.
So there are tons of things coming out this year. And we
Where's the
might do a
list?
special edition for Ghostbusters. That could be a fun
Don't tell me how to live.
Where's
That
the
could be a
list?
fun one.
No. We'll do something.
We will do
I
something.
want to do Deep House now. We just watched that movie.
We do
and I'm
need to
like,
do Deep House.
I'm
It's an
all-
aquatic horror movie.
It's an underwater haunted house movie.
Yes.
Okay.
There are
It's fun.
ghosts underwater.
It's got some issues, but it's fun.
It
Okay.
is.
It is fun. But I'm very like.
We just watched it, so that's why it's in our brain.
All right.
But we will watch.
Something.
Well, we got The Wrong Turn still. We got Don't Breathe 2. We got tons of stuff. We got
Wrong Turn.
Candyman.
We'll
We got a
figure it
bunch
out.
of different ones
Yes.
we could check
We'll
out.
see what's streaming and we'll get back to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Or we'll just
but
do it, I guess.
that was The Conjuring 3. Did you guys like it? Let us know. We're not sure. We are sure. We didn't really. It didn't jazz with us. But again, we're grumpy
You know,
30,
it's,
mid-30s people. So
It's a fun watch. I mean, if you're a fan of the Conjuring series, you got to watch it either way. I mean, don't expect anything to get better than you've already had in the Conjuring series.
yeah. Yeah.
Make sure you have time though too, because this is almost a 2-hour movie.
It's definitely one you put on when you don't really you just want to zone out.
Yeah, and see, for me, The Conjuring doesn't have gore, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't give me good lore and you don't give me a good haunting, then I'm like, meh, because that's what you're going for. You're going for a demonic possession. You're going...
It was a Law and Order demonic unit, basically.
Yes, and it took a turn because it wasn't even necessarily about the exorcism or an exorcist or even the demon itself. It was more about the woman.
It was literally like, how do we prove this? And like, it was like, it was almost like a murder mystery.
Yeah, and there was a demon storyline and an occultist storyline, and then just Ed and Lorraine love each other storyline. I think it's like way too much.
I think very early in the second act, it's no longer a devil story.
No.
Even it's like the devil made me. But wait, you said it was a demon,
it wasn't the
but he's
devil.
not possessed. He's cursed. And I think another thing too is like I want maybe it's the lore part of it, but I'm like, I want Jamaican curses. I want Santeria. I want the good fucking curse shit. I don't want this white American curse shit.
Right?
Like, what is this bullshit?
No, you know what I want? I want Ed and Lorraine up against some voodoo.
That's what I want. Ed and Lorraine versus voodoo. Like, it's like I want Ed and Lorraine in like Serpent in the Rainbow kind of mix. That's what I want.
Yes.
That is the
Haitian
fucking stories
zombies.
I want. Yes,
Taking
fucking
New Orleans.
Haitian fucking old voodoo, hoodoo, all the doo-doos. Fucking man. Crazy shit like that.
That's it.
That is the curse.
That's where the Conjuring series needs to go. It needs to go to Haiti and get chased out when they're trying to do Ed and Lorraine stories, just like Wes Craven had to do in his zombie movie.
Yes.
Oh, you guys should listen to that episode. The Serpent in the Rainbow episode. That's a good episode.
That's a good movie.
It is. It is a good movie.
But then it turns into Scooby-Doo, like Ed and Lorraine versus zombies.
Yes.
Ed and Lorraine versus like that's you know what it is. It's becoming the Abbott and Costello series.
There you go.
That's what it's starting to feel like to me.
You know what you just made me think of?
Yeah. What?
Weekend at Bernie's too.
There you go. There's your.
Where he comes back from a voodoo. Yes. And it's just Bernie. Being Bernie.
It's Arnie. Weekend with Arnie.
There you go.
There we go. That's a spin-off.
So watch this movie thinking, all right, it's voodoo that's making Arnie do crazy shit. He's gonna get drunk with his landlord and stab him a few times. Was it 22 times?
I don't know.
It was a lot.
And how are you going to be drunk stabbing a dude that many times?
Okay, was Arnie actually drunk though?
I have no clue.
I mean, what we see in the movie, but I'm saying
he's
like
a lightweight if he only had one beer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the movie version. I'm saying like real life. Was he actually drunk?
I try not to research into it too much because I would be the whole time I would just be like, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. So I was trying to watch it but I can't because I'm a 35-year-old woman post-pandemic who hates people, and I'm like, that didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Read too much information out
Abbott
there.
and Costello meet Frankenstein.
That's really what it's
Ed
becoming.
and Lorraine meet voodoo.
And we get it. They love each other. You don't have to keep ramming it down our throats.
I think if I see another Conjuring movie, I'm just going to think that now, too. It's like it's the Abbott and Costello, except it's a paranormal version of it now.
It really is. That's what it's coming to. And it's, I don't know, it's sad. Like, I don't know, like, where do they go with it? Because, you know, they're going to keep making them. They're going to keep fucking making them because they keep making money.
Yep.
And again, the Satanist angle, I know, I've done research on the whole Satanists in the 80s and the 70s. They weren't real. They were a figment of people's imaginations to scare people, and that nobody actually practiced it. Nobody actually did anything.
That's not true.
It is true.
No.
Because the Satanists today don't even do anything.
Okay, no.
They're
but
helpful.
I'm saying, think of Son of Sam. What was that dude? The guy that they actually pinned it on or whoever.
DeFeo?
Yes. No, that was...
No,
you're thinking of Conjuring.
No.
Amityville.
I'm
You're
thinking Amityville.
That's
Yeah.
DeFeo.
I'm in, yeah.
I don't remember his name. But
Berkowitz.
Yeah, Berkowitz. There's that whole thing where he was part of a satanic cult, and he was the only one that got caught.
They
So
think he was.
there's a lot of evidence to suggest that.
That's a conspiracy theory.
No, it's not. I saw it on Unsolved Mysteries, goddammit. And if you're going to tell me that Robert
Tonight.
Stack would lie to me,
Unsolved
Hey.
Mysteries.
Robert Stack told me Ed and Lorraine were actually demonologists. And how do them bitches make money as demonologists? Because I need that job.
that's the thing
Yes.
too. I was like, how do they make money? Like, I get it, like you write books or whatever, but I'm like,
I could go over
You
to
know what,
somebody's
there's-
house and be like, your son just doesn't like you. He's possessed by a demon. Just be nicer to him, and the demon might let you live here. I don't know. Give me money. $50,000, please.
money, please.
Yes. I need your money. I'm poor.
Your house isn't possessed. Your kid's just a shithead.
Yeah.
That'll be $5,000, please.
I could do that job.
I could do
really
that
could.
job. Like, no, he's possessed. Okay.
How much did they pay those people to come kidnap their children and take them to the woods to just be like, they need a harder life, no bug spray?
No
Because I could do that. Yeah, I was reading a thing. They were like, you can't have bug spray because that'll teach you to live without the luxuries of life. I'm like, bug spray is a luxury? No?
Mm-hmm.
You just don't get.
Yes. Didn't hear about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, the whole tough love teen programs. Dig into it. It's insane. Apparently, a bunch of kids came out traumatized.
You
Imagine
mean like
that.
the boot camp
imagine
ones?
that.
Or what are you talking about?
Yeah, the boot camp ones where they sent the kids when we
Oh.
were younger to be
Oh,
like
yeah.
all those ones that are like troubled teens and stuff. Literally, nobody like held any of these people to codes. It was just they sent them to camps and they withheld food, they withheld bug spray, they withheld.
Well,
clothes,
if they were shitty,
like,
then I don't care. How about that?
they were kids though.
Well, then they've been shitty. I don't care.
Not being
David
bad,
was
kid.
a shitty kid.
Okay, well, they should have sent him to fucking camp. I don't care, man.
No, they just let Ed and Lorraine come smack him.
That's what I'm telling you. That's why there's like the 10 seconds of them. Get out. Get out. This is the only clean version they had. They could do. It was like, smack him, hold him down, tie him down again.
I mean, we know priests ain't against touching kids. Hey-o.
Like, we can't wait for the priest. Oh, I'll be there.
That was The Conjuring 3. We'll be back next week with another 2021/2020 film
Yes.
Sometime between 2018 and 2021, the movie
when it
was
got
made and came
filmed
out.
and
Between
released.
then and now.
Yes. But that was The Conjuring 3 featuring Ed and Lorraine.
How do we feel? I don't know. I don't want to call
I
it
don't
crap
know.
fest, but it's too cliche.
Well,
There's
if
just
if any,
too many cliches, I
Mm-hmm.
think, strung together.
I think if anything, if you've seen the other two, then go ahead and watch the third one just to be.
You have to watch it either way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
think it's as good as the first two.
No.
though.
Well, I haven't seen the second one, so
Well, like the other two felt more like October movies. Like you put it on when it's chilly outside. It gives you a good creepy haunted house
It sounded like
feel.
a summer movie. Was it summer in the
This
movie?
one is a summer movie, yeah,
Yeah.
because like he's outside when the bitch is watching him from the window.
Oh, so you know that fucking boarding house smelled like shit.
Oh, the dogs,
The
yeah.
dogs.
Hot and
Ooh.
sweaty dogs and
Wasn't
shit
this
everywhere.
where was this? Texas?
I don't
No.
know.
They were in the Northeast somewhere.
That's right. That's where
New
they
Hampshire or
lived.
some
Yeah,
shit.
it was on the
Vermont,
water.
It
something
was
like that?
near New York somewhere. It was up in the,
They do all those east.
that upper corner
Yeah.
where they live. I don't fucking know.
It's the Stephen King neck of the woods. That side of the world.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's how I.
It was,
that's how
it
I portion.
It's down the train tracks from Tucker's Mill or whatever the fuck it was from
Yes.
Silver Bullet
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
when the dude got ran over by the train.
That was it.
that was it.
That's since you got hit by that train.
I'm really trying to find other things to say about this
I think
movie,
I'm
and I
done.
just can't. Like,
I think I'm done.
Saul's like, fuck it, I'm done.
I'm out. Tapping out. All right. That was it.
All right, well, I guess we'll see you next week.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.